How's it going, guys? Today we are going to be taking you through a run of all of the places to hit up on Ground Zero if you want to make some money. It's very rare that I would suggest doing Ground Zero, but if you are actually on Ground Zero, I'm going to show you some of the best places for loot. Now, the first area that we spawned in, we have spawned in an okay area to start off with, which we can find some like drinks and stuff like that in this area, alongside some rare items as well that can spawn on here and on the desk. And you just want to check on the table and stuff like that in here. So we are over by essentially what would be the area across the street from where the majority of the action happens. Up here we have essentially a ton of computer spawns. So just as a reference, this is the extract which you can go down the stairs and you can extract down there. And then the main street and main area of the map with the central courtyard is just directly down here. So we are essentially down the street from there. Kalontai can spawn in the street over here, so just be aware of that. But of course, boss spawns, all dependent on time at which you're playing Escape from Tarkov. But be aware that Kalontai can spawn, and he is the one that will jam your weapon. So it is advised that if you're running Ground Zero, at least continuously, I would recommend having a PPSH, which cannot jam, so it's not possible for the weapon to jam, and you simply swap to the PPSH when you essentially encounter Kalontai, and that way you will never have issues. But then we have ourselves some computer spawns. Obviously there are static spawns for computers and they are everywhere in this building, so it is a great place to farm graphics cards if you need them for your Bitcoin farm. So there you go, there is like 5 different computers in this one room, as well as just spawns on the desk for just general items as well, like phones and that sort of stuff. Outside of here, take a left, and there's another room filled with computers. 1, you have more over here. So 2, you've got some rare spawns on the desks, some drawers, you've got more tech items that can spawn over here. I'm pretty sure you can get a sledgehammer on there. You've got some more computers, and then over here we have some more items that can spawn on the desk. And that is basically this kind of area. You also then have some food spawns that can spawn on all of these. So Voss water, that sort of stuff. But primarily once we've done that, we'll come down here. Now, as you come out of this building, there are some areas which can be kind of high pressure areas, which you may be wanting to know, which is just directly in this street. So essentially, as you come out of here, you can encounter PMCs that will be on this street right here, which is where you're going to want to use the obstacles in between and essentially running, close to the buildings, you putting obstacles in between you and the PMCs and having a ton of nades on you. Jump over the barbed wire and we will eventually make our way in here once you've dealt with some PMCs. From here, we are taking a right. There can be PMCs in this room that spawn right here nearby all of these tar bank cash registers. So you want to be careful when you come in here, as well as there can be PMCs in here. And essentially, we are making our way up here. And up here we will go. There we go, idiot. Tried to walk into the barbed wire. You want to jump on top of here, and we can just essentially walk over all of these if I wasn't a complete bot and fat fingering all over the place. But you can just run up the actual area here, avoiding all of the barbed wire, or jump over the barbed wire, whichever you prefer. Then we come in here, we have ourselves some drawers, which are always very nice to loot up. You've got some more computers and graphics card potentially. And then around here, you've got more computers, 2 computers there. And then obviously areas on the desk for more loot, and then more computers over here, some ammo spawns, and then of course you've got the bit for the quest over here. Now PMCs are usually in the courtyard area over here, so be aware of that. And then of course some tech items that can spawn in here, alongside some crates as well. You've got a crate that you can open over here as well that does spawn. It's not there in this raid, but that's fine. And then you've got an area over here which you can have a look at. It can sometimes have food on it, so there you go. And then some more cash or drawers over there. And then once we've hit up this area, we do a little jump over, walking directly through all of the area that we shouldn't have. But either way, we will heal up our legs. And then we can open up this door. There can be PMCs in this room, so as you come in, be aware of that. And scavs can be outside. We will then take a right out of this door. If I can walk through the door. This is like literally the worst fat fingering show I've ever seen in my entire life. But we make our way over here. And this is the car extract. This is something that I would highly recommend having some rubles to do. So yeah, using the car extract, that's usually how I extract out. You basically just lie on the floor behind these two cars right there, and you're pretty much safe. Just listen out for PMCs. Some duffel bag spawns. Never really go into the center of here because it is just a horrible zone where PMCs and the boss could potentially take you out from a random direction. There's not a whole lot of cover out there. In here, there can be PMCs in this sort of area directly here. And there can be PMCs like around this corner and over here as well. So yeah, very risky area, but definitely want to come in here. And the first place that we go and check is we have a look in one of these, which is a plastic suitcase, which obviously can have all kinds of stuff in there. But there you go, nothing interesting. We've got a PMC body, which you can loot. Over here, we take a left and we go over to the scientist. This gives us the key to unlock the area upstairs, which we definitely want to open, the science key, science room key. You guys all know that from one of the first quests that you have to do on ground zero. So from there we go over here. There is also another PMC, so you can loot that guy. And then up here we take a little right. Now there could be scavs up here. There's not typically, but you know, just check out for that. I have seen them up here. And then another PMC body that you can loot up if you so desire. Through here we take a quick right. So over here, this is the science room key that we've just got. This is for a quest again. You have a potential jacket spawn and some spawns on here. And then all over the desks in this room are potential spawns of all kinds. And we got some computer spawns. There's a ton of drawers in here which you can loot up for a ton of rubles just from the general filing cabinet loot. And then on the desk, you'll know the spawn for the quest is right here. And then some more spawns and computers that spawn over on this side one. And then yeah, checking all over the desk for more rare loot and general food loot. Then we come into this room and we have ourselves a med bag that can spawn in here on top of here as well, and then a med bag that can spawn on one of these chairs. So just check in here for a general med loot, so LEDXs and that sort of stuff. You've got duffel bag spawns, and on the desk you can potentially get some decent loot, mainly food is what usually spawns. And then you want to check on here as well for some loot as well. And then over here you want to always check. I believe there's a keycard spawn potentially in here, so always worth having a look on the tables. And then yeah, basically just looking around for duffel bags. You've got some more filing cabinets, and that is kind of where you want to come into here for. You also have some high tier food spawns, so you can get wine and stuff like that, Jack Daniels, moonshine in this room as well, so definitely worth having a look in here. You then have some duffel bag spawns, and in here there is also another duffel bag spawn that can spawn in there. And then pretty much from here we will take our way towards the extract areas. So we go directly down here, and then at the end of this corridor we take a left. Now obviously there is some suitcases that can spawn on the floor, plastic ones, so we can loot those up. There's a ton of PMC bodies over here, so you've got one, you've got another one here, and you've got another one here which you can loot up. Obviously can have anything in them. Around here, obviously you can use this as a little hidey hole if you're getting pressure situations. And then we make our way over here. There is scav spawns usually in this area, the parking lot. You've got a scav that you can loot up on the way to the extract. Be aware there can be PMCs directly in front of us right over here and over here as well. they can be over here. And then, of course, you have the potential for the boss to be in this sort of area. In the middle, usually you take a right over here to put some hard cover in between you and anyone over there. And then we make our way over to the Emacom checkpoint extract. Depending on where you spawn, obviously that can all change as to where you're going to want to go. But we're now looking for medical spawn. So in here, you've got yourself some med spawns, obviously a med bag, and you've got yourself a PMC as well over here that you can loot up. And then we make our way directly over to the extract area. You've got some more spawns for Salewers and another body over here for of a scav. And then we just extract over here. That is the run. It's super quick, super simple. But of course, ground zero being ground zero, there's a lot of interactions with both PMC AI, Scav AI, and also the potential for the boss to also spawn on ground zero. So in terms of safety, it is not the best map whatsoever, but those are the key locations that I usually loot up. There are other areas which you can go and check out, but this is kind of like a decent pathing through ground zero to get you out of the raid, whilst also hitting up some of the best locations on the map. And of course, a good chance for you to pull a graphics card with like 15 PCs or so that you can actually loot during this route. And that's kind of what I do. Of course, let me know your opinions. And of course, there are plenty of other routes on ground zero as well. So this is not the be all and end all. You can add in areas if you want to. And your comfortability with ground zero is completely down to you. But that's kind of the typical route I will use alongside some of the typical spawns of the PMCs as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like it. And of course, subscribe down below if you want some more videos on Escape from Tarkov PVE. And I will see you there. Goodbye.